During 1 week in October of 2024, I played over 100 demos live on stream. I do this every 4 months alongside Steam's Next Fest, a kind of game showcase that lasts for about a week, during which developers are encouraged to make demos of their upcoming games available for the public to try out. And since February of this year, I've made it my mission to go through the entire catalog to pick out roughly 100 of them to then take a look at for about 30 minutes. Unless the demo is shorter than that, or I have too much fun and get distracted. This is the post-October 2024 Next Fest video, in which I will be telling you about my top 10 favorite games from that week, as well as some honorable mentions. So, how about we get started with 10th place. Some Goodbyes We Made. Saying goodbye is never easy, and this game explores the different ways someone can say goodbye to a person or a place through various scenarios. In Some Goodbyes We Made, you get to play an assortment of minigames that represent different goodbyes that the developer experienced in their life. These minigames are very cute and creative, but can really tug on your heartstrings. Some of the minigames include trying to remember the good times of your home as the plane you're on is taking off, or leaning out of a train window to wave goodbye to your parent as the train moves further and further away, and it's up to you to decide when to stop waving. After completing a minigame, you will unlock a little note that gives a bit more insight into the story behind the minigames. Playing this game really left an impression on me. I think this is an incredible idea for a game as well as a piece of art, which is what it is. It's art. The presentation of each minigame is unique and they all have their own charm. While I only got to play 3 of the minigames in the demo, I thought they were all very well executed and cannot wait to experience the remaining 8. I highly recommend trying out Some Goodbyes We Made. Who knows, maybe some of them might be familiar to you. Moving along, in 9th place we have Spilled. Spilled is a cozy game about cleaning up rivers and lakes. Waste like oil spills and trash have turned these waters murky and barely habitable for the animals living there, and it's now your job to clean that up. Your boat is equipped with a kind of vacuum that is capable of sucking up the oil, 2 prongs, one on either side of the vacuum, to gather trash, a tank to store said oil, a spout to shoot water out of to wash oil off of walls, and a small solar panel to supply your boat with energy. As you go and suck up the oil, you will fill up your tank and you can return to the collection spot at any point to turn in the collected oil and trash for a bit of money. You can then use that money to upgrade either the size of your vacuum, the volume of your tank, or the size of your solar panel, which makes you go faster. As you work on cleaning up an area, the murkiness of the water will slowly fade away and reveal a beautiful underwater ecosystem. Every area looks a little different above and below the water, and they're all very pretty. Fully exploring each area will also cause you to come across little animal friends that got stuck in some oil. Clean up that patch of oil and you will collect your little pal. They don't really do anything, they're just collectibles, I think, but some of them have names and they're very cute, so don't you dare leave them behind. Spilled is a wonderful little game. It is extremely fun and satisfying to play, and it was all made by one person who lives on a boat, which I think is really cool. If this cozy little cleanup game speaks to you, then make sure you keep an eye out for Spilled. Up next in 8th place, we find Trash Goblin. This is not a D's Nuts joke, I promise. In Trash Goblin, you're just a little guy living and working in your own trinket shop located in your friend's basement. Down here you have your friend's shop, a customer desk, a workbench, and your own personal space. The shop is where you can talk to your friend, Imon, who will give you pointers on how to run your own shop and sell you the tools you need to do your job. To then actually do your job, you'll have to move to the workbench. This is where you can excavate trinkets and artifacts that are covered in a lot of dirt and rocks. Move the bag onto the blue tarp, grab your pick, and start hitting those blocks. Every block has different types of properties. Some will just break when hit, some will take adjacent blocks with it, and others will only break when hit on one specific side. If you hit one of the blocks that contain the artifact, a white pattern will appear on them to let you know to leave those alone. Once only the patterned blocks remain, the object will reveal itself, but it's still dirty, so you're gonna have to clean it. Put down the pick up the sponge, and sponge away to get cleaning. You're gonna have to rotate the object lots of different ways to make sure you get rid of all the dirt that's left on it. But once that's done, it's ready to be sold at the customer desk as long as there's a customer asking for that specific object. You see, the customers come to you asking for specific items, so it's your job to find them. If the object they are asking for is not in your possession, just open another bag and see if what you need is inside. If it's the wrong object, you don't need to clean it immediately, and I suggest you don't, because excavating and cleaning both take time. You can see how far along in the day you are on the left side of the screen on the 6-section clock. If it's full, it's time to turn in for the night. So if you've just excavated an object you don't have any need for yet, you can just put it into your collection to access later so it's not in the way while you're working. This is basically the game. Check what your customer wants, excavate until you find the object, clean it, then sell it. The customer will give you a price and you get to say deal or no deal, no affiliation. But really, you just say deal. If you choose to say no deal, they just tell you that they'll stay there until you change your mind, so you might as well just sell it. I don't know if the button is just useless or if haggling just isn't part of the early game, but I guess we'll have to see. I really enjoyed this game. The gameplay is extremely relaxing and fun. I could really see myself just excavating and cleaning objects for hours on end. Later on, you also get the ability to combine trinkets together, but connecting them the way I wanted was very janky and didn't quite work, but it was still very neat. There's also a bit of customization, because after a few days, Simon tells you that you're able to spend your hard-earned money on a few decorations. I think this is an incredibly good cozy game, and I really think you should not miss out on Trash Goblin. Checking out 7th place, we find Tethergeist. Meet May, a young girl who hails from a village full of people with the power of astral projection. Here, everyone is able to disconnect their spirit from their body and float wherever they want, except for May. For some reason, May's spirit is bound to her by a tether, so she can only project her spirit a few feet out from where she stands. And occasionally, she gets a very bad tummy hurty, but she's being very brave about it. Nevertheless, she is determined to participate in her village's coming-of-age ceremony called The Binding, where kids go on a spiritual journey up a mountain, which isn't much of a challenge when your spirit can just float wherever, but gets significantly more difficult when your physical body gets involved. But due to May's conditions, the elders of the village deny her participation, which upsets May. So instead of being a good girl and staying home, she sneaks out at night to go on this journey whether they let her or not. That's the lore. Let's talk about the gameplay. Tethergeist is a platformer that immediately feels somewhat similar to games like Celeste. The main mechanic is your ability to project and teleport, and you use this ability to cross gaps, climb to elevated areas, float through vines, and move through crystals. There's some neat stuff you can do with this, but you need to collect these yellow orbs first. These charge your ability, and you can see how many charges you have left in the top left corner. The charges are fairly limited, but there will always be enough charges inside the chamber to get through it. Throughout the game, you'll encounter different obstacles that interact differently with your astral projection ability, like some dark energy field that keeps you from starting your astral projection but still lets you move through or end the projection inside of it as long as you started it outside, as well as platforms that move only when you are projecting. Together with additional mechanics like wall jumping and hidden flower collectibles, this game provides you with a bunch of wonderful and satisfying platformer puzzles to solve. And with its beautiful pixel art and character drawings, as well as the engaging story that is being told, this game really is one you want to stick with to the end. Definitely make sure you don't miss out on playing Tethergeist. Rounding out the bottom half of our list in 6th place is Overthrown. If you're looking for a goofy sandbox city builder for you and your friends, then Overthrown is the right game for you. The game loads you into a blocky world with lots of trees, and your first objective is to figure out who gets to pick up the crown and be the monarch, or you just see who gets to the crown and picks it up first. This person is now in charge of building and expanding the town by first constructing a town hall before placing other buildings like homes for villagers to live in or sawmills to process wood. And you're gonna need a lot of wood, so get to collecting. How? Well, obviously by picking up trees and throwing them at the sawmill, or, if you want to be more efficient, picking up the sawmill and just running into trees. Yep. In Overthrown, you can lift pretty much anything over your head and place or throw it anywhere else, even your friend. And your friend who is carrying your friend who is also carrying your friend. It's pretty silly.
Goodbye.
I got sent back.
It's really funny. The general gameplay of this game is pretty fun. Movement mechanics are nice. You can run really fast, even across water, and climbing up cliffs isn't too difficult either as long as you can find a corner to wall jump in. The game also has some combat. You can find bandit camps and animal nests, and you can beat them up for various resources. You can even carry their respective spawners wherever you want, so you have a steady supply of their drops. Just make sure you actually fence them in if you drop them somewhere close to your town so they don't mess with it. There's a lot to do in this game, and I mostly just ran around to explore and fight wildlife and bandits, but one of my friends was in charge of the town, and seeing how it had grown every time I returned was really neat. Another one of my friends was just running around collecting wood while carrying a sawmill, which helped out our city builder a lot and was also really funny to see whenever I ran into them. I'm really excited to play more of this game and see what else it has to offer once you really get into it. My friends and I actually kept playing the game a little longer after I had stopped streaming that day because we were just having a really good time with it. So if this seems like a game for you and your friends, then spread the word about Overthrown. Moving into the top half, in 5th place we find PopUcom. I love co-op games, so when I saw PopUcom I knew I had to give it a shot. Since I actually needed a co-op partner for this, my friend G-Sock joined me for this game and we had a blast. PopUcom is a colorful co-op match-free puzzle platformer. The game starts by showing you a cutscene of a planet being consumed by some strange ghoul monster and then lets you create your own character. And after exploring the spaceship you're on and getting some exposition from this little egg robot named Yolki, it's time for the tutorial. Here you learn about all the fun mechanics of this game, like jumping, shooting things that match your color, and shifting between your two colors. The game is all about color matching. Shoot a thing that has a specific color and it'll do a thing. Create blocks of specific colors to build pillars and staircases, but be careful, because if 3 or more of the same colored block touch, they'll disappear. You're also gonna have to do this to defeat enemies that are made up of colorful bubbles. Those enemies are called pomus, by the way. Shoot them with your gun to add more bubbles to them and create rows of 3 or more to destroy them or their limbs. Finishing the tutorial opens up more of the world and you get to access the first level with bigger enemies and more complex puzzles. At the end of the first level, you'll find a new ship companion who will open a shop, letting you customize your characters with cool new outfits. This game was so much fun to play. It's really cute and colorful, and the puzzles so far haven't been very complicated, yet still really enjoyable. The shooting and aiming felt a little awkward and inconsistent at times, but it didn't cause any major issues, just very minor annoyances. And since I didn't play this game alone, I asked my friend Jisok if she wanted to share her thoughts on the game. Take it away, G!
Papucom. How do I even begin to describe Papucom? It's like if a game that relies on platforming didn't make me want to uninstall after 5 minutes, although a lot of that might be due to the fact it's co-op and also there's no fall damage. As far as the gameplay goes, the color change mechanics are so simple yet so satisfying. Color coding the different players is such a genius way to make the whole stage cooperative, and the soundtrack is super satisfying. The sound design is also top tier that fits the visual design perfectly. And speaking of the visuals, they're so clean, cute, and serotonin inducing. Like, I would literally die for Yolki. Marketable Papucom plushies when. I also love killing my favorite former liver, Lazulite's Pamu. Anyways, playing this game gave me the same amount of joy that I experienced when playing Super Mario Galaxy for the first time, except I'm pretty sure there won't be an underwater level to make me cry and drop the game later, and I'm very much looking forward to the Fax carrying me on his back throughout the whole game when it fully releases later.
Absolutely. Jisok and I will definitely be returning once this game is released to play through it properly, and I for one cannot wait. Make sure to grab a friend and keep an eye on Papucom. Now it's time to take a look at 4th place. Kill a God. This was one of the first games I played and it really left a lasting impression. To Kill a God is an action roguelike RPG where the dungeon map and your skill tree are the exact same thing. You start off by choosing one of 4 skills in the center, which throws you into a combat scenario, and once you beat it, you unlock that skill. After that, you're off to the races. You can now plot your path through the skill tree however you want. Look around a bit, find a node you really want to visit, whether it's a new skill or a kind of event space, and follow the lines to your goal. Empty nodes are regular combat rooms that don't give you much extra but still reward you with experience as well as equipment and stat boosts. The experience you get from every combat is usually enough to net you another level, and when you level up, you receive 5 additional stat points that you can assign to your strength, dexterity, or intelligence however you like. But keep in mind that certain skills or pieces of equipment have stat requirements you need to be able to fulfill before you can use them. If you don't have enough, then your items will just be sitting in your inventory and you won't even be able to enter the room that would give you the cool skill you want. I didn't play too much of this game because I very quickly knew I loved it and didn't want to end up getting sucked into it for an hour or possibly more, so there were a few things I didn't quite get to experience. Like, I only just noticed while writing the script that there is a boss aggro bar at the top of the screen when you're looking at the map. The icon on the right side of the bar keeps going left as you move along and clear more of the skill tree. I don't quite know what will happen once it's reached the end of the bar, but I'm very excited to find out. The art is very solid. Many skill icons look kind of simple, almost like stock images, but they work. The pixel art during combat is very great though, in my opinion. And so is the gameplay. Combat looks and feels fantastic, and that's really the most important part about games like these. If you're like me and you're always on the lookout for new and interesting roguelikes, then make sure you don't miss out on To Kill a God. Before we move on to take a look at the top 3 games, it's time for me to show you some honorable mentions. Games that didn't quite make the cut for the top 10 but still deserve some attention because of how interesting they were conceptually. This will be rapid fire, so try not to fall behind. In no particular order, here we go. Captain Blood is an action-packed pirate adventure that looks like it was made for the PlayStation 2, but in a good way. With tough hack and slash combat and a name like Captain Blood, you know you're in for a wild ride. Take Notes is an escape room puzzle game where you're literally taking notes that were left behind to solve riddles and decipher codes in this abandoned bunker. What could possibly be at the end of this mysterious underground facility? PC Ball is a fun and unique new creature collector in which you befriend cute and cool looking animals to add to your volleyball team that you are coaching. This turn-based volleyball game is sure to be a blast. Keep Driving is a road trip RPG. Plan your route, pick up hitchhikers, take on odd jobs, stock up on supplies, manage your trunk space, and make it through a diverse variety of road events to reach your destination. Taco Caravan is a cute little snake game in which you drive around parking lots and neighborhoods to grow your little caravan while solving little puzzles and completing small challenges. Hazelwood Station is a narrative train journey where you stop at various stations and try to figure out ways to earn money for your next train ticket. On your way to Hazelwood Station, you will meet various people who will open up to you just as you will open up to them. I don't even know how to begin to describe Nazar, but this fusion fusion of full motion video and 2D platformer mixed with some time shenanigans and fortune telling is sure to leave an impression. Chromo aside, Prism of Sin is a top-down action roguelite where you control the hue of the world, match your color to that of the enemy to take them out, and make use of different upgrades depending on whether you're closer to cyan, magenta, or yellow. Scarlet Deer Inn is a dark narrative platforming adventure with beautiful art and character animations created using embroidery. This game truly has a unique look to it that you won't experience anywhere else. Pilo and the Hollow Book is an adorable exploration game in which you play as a little fox-like creature called Pilo who goes on excursions to different planets to scan the environments and collect stickers to fill your Hollow Book. I wish I could talk about these games in more detail, but that would result in a much longer video, and I like the pacing we have as it currently is, but I still hope you take a look at least a few of these games because they really deserve your attention. It's time to finally talk about the top 3 games on my list, starting with number 3, Fruit Bus. As one of the greatest musical groups of our time has once put it so eloquently, fruit salad, yummy yummy. No, but like when I tell you that I genuinely had the urge to just play the full Fruit Salad song by the Wiggles for this section, you have to believe me. Anyway, Fruit Bus might seem like a simple game about fruit salad, but it's much more than that. You see, in Fruit Bus, you're driving around in a food truck to sell fruit salad. The thing about this truck is that it once belonged to your grandmother, and as a child, you would occasionally spend time with her, pretending that you were in charge of the truck. Now, after your grandmother has passed away, this has become your reality. When you go to pick up the truck from the junkyard, you find it's quite dilapidated, and when you check inside, you find a book on the floor. This book contains your grandmother's final letter to you. In this letter, she asks you to bring all of her old friends together for one final feast in her honor. So that's what you're gonna do. But if you want to do that, you should probably fix the truck first. Very nice. Now let's get off this trash island. Next stop, Bananas. Once you get here, the game really starts. It's a simple game, but it's very fun. All you gotta do is gather a bunch of fruit from all across the island and sell various types of fruit salads to as many customers as possible. Most customers will just take any fruit salad or just ask for one specific fruit, but the ones you really want to look out for are the ones that ask for very specific fruit salads. In most cases, these are your grandmother's old friends, or maybe more accurately, acquaintances in some cases. These are the people you want to convince to join the feast. So it's time to get to work exploring and find as many different fruits as you can. As you keep playing, you'll find new fruits, discover new places, meet new people, and sell more fruit salads. And as you sell more fruit salads, you gain more money, which you can use to upgrade your truck to increase your efficiency. Fruit Bus is incredibly charming. It has a very pretty and inviting art style, a fun and relaxing soundtrack, and a simple yet enjoyable gameplay loop. There's also something about this game that made me put on an accent, which was, alright, Mr. Mayor, you want the fucking salad? I got you. Look at this technique. Fun. Maybe a little weird, but mostly fun for me. Playing this game was so enjoyable, and I really want to return to Bananas as quickly as possible to fully experience what this game has to offer. If a game like this sounds right up your alley, then make sure you pick up Fruit Bus at your earliest convenience. Yummy, yummy. Very solidly planted in second place, we find LiDAR Exploration Program. In the beginning, there was void, and then lights, shapes, an environment. In LiDAR Exploration Program, you enter a world that starts out completely black, and the only thing you have at your disposal is your scanner. You use the scanner to slowly reveal your surroundings. There's a regular scan, hold down a button and it will reveal what's in front of you in a circular shape. The size of the scan is adjustable as well, like you can make it very small and draw something into the void. It's neat. You can also do a detailed scan, which scans everything in front of you from top to bottom. And knowing that, you're set. Now walk around and scan anything and everything you can come across. Your objective is to scan specific points of interest. These are marked on your map, which looks super sick by the way, because it's entirely made up of everything you have scanned so far. Whenever you approach a point of interest, you will start to hear a heartbeat, which really caught me off guard the first time I heard it, and it scared me a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. When you find a point of interest, you scan it until the game tells you you've completed the scan. Once you've scanned the final point of interest, the game will spawn an exit point. This essentially functions as an extra point of interest, and when I tried to scan it to see what it looked like, it crashed OBS. The game does have a horror tag, but whether that's simply because of the atmosphere or if there's more to that in later levels is something we'll have to find out in the future, I guess. This game is incredibly interesting. The atmosphere is fantastic and exploration is really fun. When I played LiDAR Exploration Program, I tried to scan as much as possible. I wanted to know exactly where I was and what I was looking at, which caused the video to be compressed to shit. So I apologize for the occasionally blurry visuals, but the end result was stunning. You're also free to scan as little as possible, and I'm sure that can create some really cool visual effects in certain areas as well. I love the idea and the execution of this game so much. I've been thinking about this game a lot since I played it, and I can't wait to scan the other environments in it. If the idea of uncovering environments by scanning your surroundings sounds like fun to you, then definitely keep an eye on LiDAR Exploration Program. And finally, at the very top of the list, in first place we have Void.
Lightning. I am your master, and you are the pinnacle of my creation. Rise now, and serve me and the world. Rise now.
This is the opening to Voin, your knight, infused with the power of lightning, and your purpose is to kill and destroy. Voin is a first-person action RPG roguelike. You start off the tutorial by picking up your sword as the game teaches you about moving, dashing, jumping, and swinging it. The combat feels great. You have a light and a heavy attack, and you can hold down the heavy attack button to charge it, which will cost knockback charges, so you can't just do that over and over again, though they do recharge over time. You can also dash to avoid damage. Whenever an enemy glows yellow, dash away from them to avoid the attack, and if you time it right, you become invulnerable for a little bit. Additionally, there is no fall damage in this game, and falling from a sufficient height will cause you to crash into the ground, causing powerful lightning to strike where you land, and it feels so satisfying. You can also sheath your weapon, allowing you to move around more freely by using your super dash, which consumes 2 dash charges but shoots you in the direction you're looking, even upwards. This ability is amazing for exploration and will often help you find hidden chests or secrets. When you do find a chest and open it, it will drop you a new item. These can be new weapons, hearts, rings, or other accessories. One special piece of equipment are runes. Equipping these will give you powerful abilities that need to be charged by attacking and can be unleashed by using a heavy attack. The tutorial will also give you a mote of power with which you can unlock a powerful ability. Usually they're hidden in different places in the actual levels, so you'll need to explore for more powers, but the first one is free. Pick one of the abilities presented to you in the powers tab of the menu, bind it to a key, and use it to kill more enemies. Finishing the tutorial brings you to the hub world where you can level up using Ichor. You remember those red clumps of flesh dropped by the enemies whenever they're killed? That's Ichor. You can also cleanse and level up all the items you found. You see, every time you find an item from a chest or as a random drop from an enemy, they're corrupted, which means you can't tell what it does yet. To get the item's full effect, you need to cleanse it first, and once you've done that, you can upgrade it. Upgrading an item means you increase its rarity and strengthen its ability. It's possible to find higher rarity items in the wild, but you'll most likely have to work for it. Now let's go over the different types of items. Artifacts, necklaces, and rings give various passive effects. If you're lucky, you might find some that synergize. My favorite is the Prancing Steed artifact, which increases your jump height and gives you extra jumps. It makes exploration so much more fun. Hearts determine how much HP you have, as well as how you recover it. Most hearts will have 4 HP and just differ in how HP is recovered, but some might have more or less. In most cases, if you down some HP, just hitting enemies will slowly recharge your health. But some hearts you can equip will give you additional ways to recharge health. They might also let you randomly not take damage from a hit. It all depends on the heart you have equipped. We've already gone over runes, and weapons are, well, weapons. There's a wide variety of them. Most of them are sword varieties, but there's also some hammers, which is neat. You can have 2 weapons equipped at the same time to switch between however you like. You can't dual wield the 2 equipped weapons, but there are weapons that are a pair and will be dual wielded when equipped. Before you go back into the world to slay more monsters, you can change the difficulty of your adventure. There's 3 different scales, 2 of which you can interact with. Quantity, determining the amount of enemies, and toughness, determining their strength. The final one is enormity, which would determine the chance of encountering higher tier enemies, but it's either not patched in yet or needs to be unlocked by playing more. I am unsure about that. Once you go through the gate into the open world, it's time to explore and exterminate. Fight monsters, find chests, discover secrets, collect Ichor and items, and explore the world. Once you've had enough, you can look towards the sky and call for a way home. A pillar of light will guide you to a safe passage back to the hub. Getting there will allow you to keep everything you've collected on your adventure, but if you fail and die, all of your Ichor and newly collected items are gone and you have to return to where you died and get them back. Void is incredible. I kept playing the demo long after Next Fest had finished and bought the game immediately when it released, and I can't wait to see how it evolves over time. Void just looks and feels absolutely amazing. This was by far one of my favorite games I've discovered through Next Fest. If any of what I just told and showed you made you think, hey, that seems pretty cool, then please download the demo and try it for yourself. You won't regret it. I can say without a shred of doubt in my mind that out of the over 100 demos I've played, my #1 game from the October 2024 Next Fest is Void. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. I know this video is pretty late, and I'm honestly just glad I managed to get it out before the next Fest in February. I think trying to hold myself to that deadline I said in the previous video made things tougher for me, especially when I'm dealing with a pretty rough week or two. I also just don't like writing the script. It's my least favorite part, to be honest, but it's gotta be done. But I made it. Going forward, I'll just try my best to get the video out as quickly as I can, with the only real deadline being right before the following Next Fest. I think that's a better way to go about it. For me, at least. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and once again, thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye bye!